Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Battle Through the Heavens based on novel. So let's start. Young Master Xiao Yan, it is time. The elderly face of Ling Ying wore a smile as he stood in front of the bamboo house and looked at the tightly shut door. His voice was soft as he called out. Creak. The door squeaked and Xiao Yang slowly walked out from the room. The energy around the place seemed to have been vaguely disturbed after he stepped forward. Those deep dark black eyes appeared as though it was a divine being that ruled over the souls. Ling Ying involuntarily bowed lower under the scanning of those eyes. The pleased expression on the corner of his mouth became increasingly dense. In the distant past, the young man had still appeared a little tender. Yet, he had reached the peak within a short few decades. Even Ling Ying could only look up to him. Young Mrs. eyesight is extremely good, Ling Ying smiled warmly. He lifted his head and looked at the beauty quietly standing beside the young man. It was as though this brightest pearl of the Jiyu clan would hide her dazzling brilliance only beside Xiao Yang and appear like an obedient little woman. She was just like the green-clothed young lady, who was smiling and following being that youth in the Wu-Tang city decades ago. Let's go. Old Ling, goodbye. Xiao Yang lifted his head. He looked at the mountain in front of him. It was possible for him to detect a large group of powerful auras swiftly gathering at that spot. Moreover, spatial fluctuation was also being emitted from two other directions. It seemed that the experts from the Lei and Yang clan had also been mobilized. Xiao Yang did not wait after his words sounded. He held Zun'er's hand and flew towards the sky in a flash. Young Master Xiao Yang, I hope that you will return victorious. Ling Ying smiled and muttered as he watched the back of Xiao Yang duo. By the time Xiao Yang duo had arrived in the sky above the mountain, the area was already filled with many people. Numerous experts from the Jiyu clan rose into the sky and formed an orderly formation. Vast and mighty auras flowed acting like a single entity. That great mighty caused even Xiao Yang, who had stepped into the Di state soul, to involuntarily be surprised. Ha ha, have they arrived? Jiyu Yuan appeared beside the two of them after they appeared. His smiling eyes swept over them. An unknown feeling was present within his eyes. A moment later, he suddenly laughed. It seems that the both of you are really planning on allowing me to be a grandfather as soon as possible. Jiyu Yuan's sudden words caused Xiao Yang to be startled. It also led to Zun'er's face to become like a red apple in an instant, which appeared quite cute. Cough. Xiao Yang coughed dryly. It was unexpected that this Jiyu Yuan, who was filled with a mighty pressure, would actually utter such teasing words. All he could do was to helplessly shake his head. He quickly swept his eyes over the place and asked, is the Jiyu clan going out in force? It has not reached the extent of going out in force. However, we must definitely show our true strength. Our opponent is the extremely mysterious and unfathomable Han clan. We must not be careless. Jiyu Yuan sighed and said. Xiao Yang nodded slightly. His eyes swept over many experts, and his heart was once again stunned by the Jiyu clan's strength. Jiyu Yuan was the strongest within the Jiyu clan. Under him was likely that black submerged king, Jiyu Lai, whom Xiao Yang had hardly met. Based on Xiao Yang's estimation, the strength of the black submerged king had likely reached the initial 8-star Doshin class. Although he was a little weaker than the clan heads of the Yang and Lei clans, he was also a relatively powerful existence. Below the black submerged king, Jiyu Lai were the three immortals of the Jiyu clan. The three of them were at the 7-star Doshin class, and were similar in strength to the 4 demon saints of the Han clan. After the three immortals were the many elders of the Jiyu clan. Xiao Yan had never seen most of these elders. Clearly, they should be those who frequently undertook a retreat to train. His eyes had only briefly glanced past them, when he discovered no less than 5 of them having reached the 4 or 5-star Doxing class. If this lineup was placed within the Central Plains, it would really be able to clear any obstructions. It was not mere rumors that allowed the Jiyu clan to take over the Xiao clan and become the leader of the 8 ancient clans in name. Their strength is worthy of this position. Of course, this was the case if one excluded the usually mysterious Han clan. Even Jiyu Yuan and the others did not dare to guarantee that they completely understand the true strength of this clan. The gazes of the many elders were also looking at Xiao Yan while the latter's eyes were sweeping over them. They smiled at him in a courteous manner. Although Xiao Yang's true ability was merely that of a 6-star Doxing, his DI state soul had gave them an exceptional pressure. When those black eyes swept over them, it was as though their very souls had been penetrated. Naturally, they did not dare to underestimate Xiao Yang because of his age. Swoosh! An intense rushing wind sound was suddenly transmitted from the distant sky as Xiao Yang withdrew his gaze. A large group of black figures flashed over the sky. Finally, they appeared in the sky one after another. Many powerful auras immediately spread, causing the surrounding to tremble slightly. Ha ha, clan head Jiyu Yuan, young friend Xiao Yang, all the elites from my Yang clan, has been mobilized this time around. Yang Jin smilingly cupped his hands together and faced Jiyu Yuan. Dozens of people stood behind him. All of them possessed powerful auras. Clearly, they were true experts. Xiao Yang merely randomly swept his eyes over them. After which, they were paused on a spot behind Yang Jin. There was an enchanting beautiful woman in red robes there. The beautiful woman had a tempting smile. Her middle-aged attractive appearance was filled with a matured allure. However, Xiao Yang could tell at a glance that this beautiful woman was the second strongest expert from the Yang clan other than Yang Jin. Her strength had actually also reached the 7-star Doxing class, and was similar to the 3 immortals of the Jiyu clan. The beautiful woman had also detected Xiao Yang's eyes when they paused on her body. She lifted her pretty eyes and an enchanting smile was lifted on her face. There seemed to be a strange fluctuation being emitted from within her eyes. That fluctuation vaguely caused one to become a little absent-minded. Soul-tempting technique. Xiao Yang felt extremely surprised at this fluctuation. It was rumored that this was a kind of spiritual skill from the ancient times. It was able to covertly control someone without anyone noticing it. This could be considered strange. However, this was usually effective against those with spiritual strength that were weaker than her. The spiritual level of this pretty woman was clearly only at the perfect heavenly state. Using this so-called soul-tempting technique in front of Xiao Yang while possessing a spiritual strength of this level was really a joke. Xiao Yang involuntarily smiled and shook his head after having these thoughts. He smilingly looked at the pretty woman. An invisible mighty pressure quietly spread from his brow and gently made contact with the fluctuation that the latter emitted from her eyes. Kai. That mysterious fluctuation from the pretty woman collapsed almost instantly upon this slight contact. Her delicate figure suddenly trembled. Shock appeared in her eyes as she looked at Xiao Yang. Her soul had actually trembled under the mighty pressure. DI state soul. The pretty woman was also an extremely experienced person. She quickly comprehended the situation, after only a momentary shock. Her face immediately appeared, as though she had seen a ghost and hurriedly stopped this little trick of hers. Ha ha, young friend Xiao Yang, this is my Yang's clan elder Hualing. Yang Jim at the side laughed after feeling the pressure. After which, he turned his head and laughed towards the pretty woman. I have already told you not to play with your spiritual strength, or you will only end up eating a bitter pill. Yet, You don't believe me? Kai, it's Fairy Hualing, not Elder Hualing. The pretty woman curled her lips. Immediately, her eyes were watery as they looked at Xiao Yan and laughed. It is unexpected that he has reached the legendary DI state soul despite being only this young. One can really not judge a book by its cover. The Xiao clan had produced a Xiao Xian back then. Now, it has produced another Xiao Yang. It seems the heavens has really blessed the Xiao clan. Those elders from the Yang clan behind Hualing also looked towards Xiao Yang in a stunned manner. DI state soul, even clan head Yang Jin in the Yang clan had not reached this level. Fairy Hualing has really overly praised me. I was really lucky. Xiao Yang smiled. That fairy manner of address caused the smile on Huiying's face to become a lot more brilliant. Clearly, she really liked this form of address. Everyone should understand what we are going to do today. I shall not say anything more. Everyone should clearly understand the strength of the Han clan in their hearts. If they were to fight, one must not underestimate the enemy. The members of the three clans became quiet after hearing Xiao Yuan opened his mouth. They nodded in agreement. The former's reputation amongst the ancient clans was quite great. Moreover, his peak advanced 9-star Doxing strength caused one to feel some fear and respect. Since everyone understands, let's get moving. Xiao Yuan looked at Xiao Yang upon seeing this. The latter nodded slightly. He waved his hand and the many vast and powerful auras suddenly surged in this space. Go. Xiao Yuan waved his sleeve after his voice sounded. The space in front of him cracked and formed a huge tunnel. He directly walked into it. The grave-looking Xiao Yang and Zun quickly followed. The experts from the three clans swiftly swarmed in. The spatial tunnel finally began to gradually scatter after the last person entered. Light figures swiftly rushed over the sky above the headquarters of the Sky Mansion Alliance on the Central Plains, while the large army left the Jiu realm. After which, they flew towards the northwestern region of the Central Plains from all directions. The entire Central Plains turned into an uproar when such a large number of experts left the Sky Mansion Alliance. Everyone understood that the only enemy faction, which could cause the Sky Mansion Alliance to dispatch such a large number of experts, was the extremely mysterious Han clan. The shadow of a battle enveloped the entire Central Plains. The Burial Sky Mountain Range stood at the northwestern region of the Central Plains. It was likely that many on the current continent were unfamiliar with this region. However, it was extremely well known to some of the older generation of the ancient clans. This was because this place was where the Han and Xiao clans had fought back then. The big war had once shook the entire Central Plains. There was an ancient battlefield deep within the mountain range. The battlefield was extremely vast, and there was usually many magical beasts present. It could be considered a dangerous place. Hence, it appeared a little desolated. The ancient battlefield today appeared somewhat mysterious. Those magical beasts, which used to roam unchecked, had completely disappeared. It was actually impossible to find even a single magical beast on this huge battlefield. That scene appeared as though they had detected an earth-shaking big battle that was about to erupt in this place. Swoosh swoosh. A series of loud rushing wind sounds suddenly resounded over the mountain range, which all was absent of all beast roars. One could see a large number of figures appearing in the horizon. Within a couple of flashes, they had appeared in this ancient battlefield. We have arrived. Xiao Yuan's feet gently landed on the ground. His eyes swept over this battleground that had been turned into ruins. His eyes appeared a little complicated. The big war between the Han and Xiao clan back then had begun in this place. It was unexpected that their battle with the Han clan would also begin in this place thousands of years later. Search the mountain range. Many experts from the three clans rushed forward after everyone had just landed. They swiftly gave this mountain range a brief search as a precaution against any ambush that the Hun clan had placed. It seems that the Hun clan has yet to arrive. Yang Jin stepped forward. He looked at this somewhat desolated ancient battleground and remarked. Xiao Yan nodded slightly. Other than some magical beasts, which were trembling under their pressure, there was no signs of any auras from the experts of the Hun clan. Those from the Sky Mansion Alliance have arrived. Xiao Yang suddenly lifted his head and smilingly watched the northern sky. Some familiar ripples was vaguely emitted from that spot. Everyone looked in the direction after Xiao Yang's words sounded. However, they were unable to see anyone. Nevertheless, no one doubted Xiao Yang's words at this moment. Other than Xiao Yan, it was likely that no one else present could compare with Xiao Yang in terms of spiritual strength. Soon after everyone focused their eyes, some rushing wind sound had suddenly appeared in the northern sky. After which, a black mass of human figures rushed over from all directions. Their numbers was actually not any inferior to the number of people the three clans mobilized. It looks like the Sky Mansion Alliance has really dispatched all its strength. A surprise flashed over Yang Jin's and Lei Ying's eyes as they looked at the vast and mighty lineup. Although the Sky Mansion Alliance might be inferior to the Yang and Lei clans in terms of elites, the number of experts they possessed had reached a terrifying level. Ha ha, it seems that we are not late. Black shadows swiftly appeared in the mountain range from all directions in front of everyone's eyes. The person in front was naturally Yao Lao. Behind him was Cai Lin, Little Fairy Doctor, Xiao Chen and the others. Even the ancestor of the Pill Tower and old man Shen Nong had followed. It seemed that Yao Lao had the others had been busy recruiting this elder, who possessed an extremely great attainment in alchemist skills. Both parties had naturally engaged in polite conversation as the large army gathered. The ancestor of the Pill Tower and old man Shen Nong could be considered to be familiar with the three clans. They naturally had a lot to talk now that they had met. Xiao Chen, only the other hand, merely glanced at those from the three clans before walking towards Xiao Yang. Are you all right? Xiao Chen glanced at Xiao Yang. His stern face revealed a smile as he asked. Xiao Yang also grinned in the face of this kin, who could also be considered his ancestor. He nodded. However, he did not tell Xiao Chen about what had happened to Xiao Xian at this moment. He understood that Xiao Chen and Xiao Xian were very close. If the former was to learn about this news, it would likely be a big blow to him. Hence, there was no harm in temporarily keeping it a secret. A fragrance suddenly pounced over while Xiao Yang was chatting with Xiao Chen. He lifted his head and saw Cai Lin's bewitching cold face. Xiao Yang rubbed his nose and laughed dryly after seeing Cai Lin's somewhat cold manner. Elder sister Cai Lin, we have met again. Is Xiao Xiao doing well? Zun who was standing beside Xiao Yang, saw Cai Lin slowly walking over. A ripple appeared in her eyes before she inquired with a gentle smile. Cai Lin's cold face revealed a slight smile upon hearing this. He softly said, she's well. However, she is bemoaning that a certain person being absent from home all the time. Zun smiled upon hearing those words. Xiao Yang by the side could only shake his head helplessly. It seemed that Cai Lin was a little displeased that he had been missing for such a long time. Are your injuries healed? Cai Lin curled her lips slightly after seeing Xiao Yang's manner. Her tone was suddenly a lot gentler. Although she was a little angry with Xiao Yang for not returning home despite being injured, rational thought still dominated her mind. That feeling was merely something that a woman normally had. I'm fully recovered, Xiao Yang smiled. He immediately swept his gaze around and asked, "Isn't the Alliance afraid of someone destroying its foundation, with so many of its experts being dispatched?" "Yao Lao has said that this is very important to you," Cai Lin replied. Xiao Yan was startled. His heart immediately became warm. With the arrival of the army from the Sky Mansion Alliance at the ancient battlefield, the entire mountain range had quickly become a lot more lively. Moreover, there were also many experts from the central plains outside of the mountain range, who had been attracted because of the activity. However, they did not dare to step into the mountain range after arriving at the Burial Sky Mountain range. This was because they could sense that the auras gathered in this place had reached a terrifying level. If they were to be dragged into a battle at such a level, it was very likely that they would end up dying. After a brief interaction following the gathering both parties, everyone once again became cautious. Their sight spread over the place and encompassed the entire Burial Sky Mountain range. Any activity present would be immediately feedback to Xiao Yang's group. Time slowly passed amidst this wait. The moment the bright sun reached its peak, Xiao Yang and Jiyu Yuan, who had been sitting on a huge rock, suddenly opened their eyes together. A low voice caused everyone to become suddenly tensed. "They have arrived." The interior of the mountain suddenly revealed layers of black fog, after the voices of those two sounded. Black fog lingered over the place. Finally, it turned into a huge spatial tunnel. Numerous mighty sinister auras surged from it. Black fog surged in the sky and directly cut off the sunlight. Immediately, the temperature of the surroundings fell. A kind of dark and cold aura spread. "Ha ha, this Burial Sky Mountain range has not been so lively for a long time." The black fog churned in the sky and Han Tiandi's figure appeared from nowhere. His eyes swept over the large army below. A smile appeared on his face as he spoke. The Nihility Devouring Flame, the 4 demon saints of the Han clan, and many other Han clan's experts, also flashed and appeared behind Han Tiendi. It seemed that the Han clan was also clearly aware of the battle today. Hence, it had also maneuvered quite a lot of experts. "Han Tiendi, return the ancient jades of our 3 clans. Otherwise, we will definitely attack your Jiyu realm in the future." Lei Ying let out a cold cry. His expression sunk after seeing Han Tiendi appeared. Losing the ancient jade had caused him to be extremely furious. Naturally, he could not suppress the anger in his heart now that he had seen the other party attacking the Han realm. There is perhaps no one with the strength to do so in the present world. Han Tiendi laughed out loud in the face of Lei Ying's furious cry. He immediately ignored the former as his eyes were thrown towards Xiao Yang. He spoke in a faint voice, "What do you plan to do? Are you going to use the ancient jade to exchange for the person you want? Or are you going to forcefully snatch him?" "I wish to meet my father." Xiao Yang's eyes did not shift away, as he stared at Han Tiendi and slowly said. Han Tiendi glanced at Xiao Yang upon hearing this. He immediately waved his hand and the space behind him fluctuated. The sound of chains soon sounded. After which, a prison, which was formed from black fog, appeared in the sky. There was an elderly figure seated within. Many chains tightly entangled around him like poisonous snakes. Xiao Yang's eyes were focused on that elderly figure the moment the prison appeared. His body involuntarily trembled. Although it was a little blurry, the blood flowing within Xiao Yang immediately told him that the figure was indeed his father, Xiao Zhon. Decades had passed. The high-spirited clan head from back then had become this white-haired elderly figure. His originally strong body had become skinny and frail during this time. He had been imprisoned for decades. Xiao Yang's body continued to tremble. He looked at the heavy metal chains on that elderly figure. Waves after waves of wild murderous intent churned within his heart. He clenched his fist tightly, allowing his nails to press into his palm. Droplets of blood rolled out from them and fell. Hun Tiendi, if I have the opportunity to do you, I will turn your Hun clan upside down. Xiao Yang's blood-red eyes suddenly turned towards Hun Tiendi. His voice was hoarse and low. At the same time, an incomparably frightening spiritual fluctuation spread in wave-like fashion with him at the center. Immediately, dark clouds churned and thunder roared. Di State Soul. Those experts from the Hun clan, who had just gave Xiao Yang a smile of disdain, suddenly had stiffened expressions after the spiritual fluctuation was emitted. Even Hun Tiendi finally had a slightly altered expression. Clearly, he did not expect that Xiao Yang's spiritual strength had actually soared until such an extent within a short half a month. What a great Xiao Yang! Hun Tiendi's voice was low and deep. There was a faint murderous intent within it. The current Xiao Yang had finally caused him to feel a little threatened. Xiao Yang. The elderly figure, being heavily restrained by the metal chain within the cage, suddenly trembled because of Hun Tiendi's words. He slowly lifted his head. A turbid expression appeared in his eyes. Finally, they paused on the black-clothed young man, who was floating in the sky a short distance away. His body stiffened immediately. Tears rolled down from his eyes. His hoarse elderly voice was filled with an incomparable sadness. Yang! The entire place was completely silent. Only the elderly voice, which caused one to feel an endless amount of sadness, reverberated across the sky. Xiao Yang was still a weak youth when they had separated back then. However, that separation at that time had lasted for decades. Hatred filled the youth's heart during this long period of time. He had trained with all his might, escaping from death time and time again while breaking through his limit. All of it was merely to rescue his father, who had once doted on him, and allow the latter to once again enjoy life in his old age. Ji Yuan and the others became quiet as he looked at the somewhat skinny young man in the air. They knew quite a lot about Xiao Yang's past. Hence, they clearly understood just how much effort and sacrifice he had put in. An ordinary person was only able to see his extraordinary achievement. However, they had forgotten just how many life and death battles were hidden under this glaring achievement. This fellow is really a man. No one in my Lei clan can compare with him. Lei Ying sighed softly and muttered. Xiao Yang was able to slowly climb from being the tender youth back then until a giant that even they must regard seriously. Moreover, he also needed to escape from the assassins that the Hun clan had dispatched during this period of time. The difficult journey had not only failed to cause the youth to have an early death, but had instead become a grindstone for him to step onto the path of the strong. All of them admitted that they would definitely be unable to do better than Xiao Yang if they were in his shoes. After all, Xiao Yang relied only on himself. The once prominent Xiao clan did not leave him with any wealth. The experts from the Lei clan were quiet in the face of Lei Ying's soft sigh. They were unable to refute him. Xiao Yang gege. Zana bit her lips softly. Her pretty eyes contained a redness as she looked at the repeatedly trembling back. She was able to sense the surging emotions in the latter's heart. She was well aware of the efforts Xiao Yang had put in during these years. That elderly figure within the prison lifted his hand with great difficulty. His eyes stared intently at the black-clothed young man. He could still see some traces of the youth from back then on the already matured face. The son, whom he was once proud of, had really once again appeared in front of him. Child. Tears continued to flow from his eyes. After which, he suddenly pounced forward. His voice was hoarse as he roared, Yang, leave. After being imprisoned by the Hun clan for so many years, he was clearly aware of just how terrifying the Han clan was. The Do Huang, or even Do Zong, who could dominate the Jioma Empire back then, was only considered ordinary in that place. Such a strength was sufficient to cause one to feel a sense of hopelessness. Xiao Yan looked at the elderly figure, who was being restrained by heavy metal chains. A moment later, he smiled and lifted his head. He inhaled a deep breath of air. Regardless of how much hardship he had suffered, his father was at the very least still alive. What a touching scene. Han Tiendi laughed faintly. His eyes looked towards Xiao Yang and said, "Perhaps you should be thanking us. Your father has an ordinary talent. If he was to train normally, he will not be able to reach the Do Huang class in his lifetime. In order to allow him to live safely until now, we have given him quite a lot of medicinal pills of our Han clan. Otherwise, such accident might have long since happened to him." I will. Ji Yuan and the others frowned upon hearing Han Tiendi's words. However, a smile rose on Xiao Yang's face. He nodded gently and laughed. "You can be rest assured that Xiao Yang will remember this big favor." Lei Ying and the others were startled as they looked at the smile on Xiao Yang's face. A dense chill rose within their hearts. A person with a ferocious look was not terrifying. A terrifying person was someone who was able to keep a smile on his face while a murderous intent was surging within his heart. Han Tiendi's face twitched slightly. Xiao Yang's talent was as glaring as Xiao Xian back then. However, the former's viciousness had clearly greatly surpassed Xiao Xian. Han Tiendi stared at Xiao Yang's blood-red eyes. He clearly understood that the words Xiao Yang had uttered earlier were not mere words of anger. If Xiao Yang was given the opportunity, Han Tiendi believed that the former would definitely exterminate the entire Han clan until none of them remained. However, it was likely extremely difficult for such an opportunity to appear. Transaction. Xiao Yang clenched his hand. An ancient jade flashed and appeared. It was the final tool, she ancient god jade. Xiao Yang did not try using a counterfeit jade. This was because he understood that this method would not work on an expert like Han Tiendi. A greed and desire flashed across Han Tiendi's eyes as he looked at the ancient jade in Xiao Yang's hands. Once he obtained this final piece of ancient jade, he would learn of the location of the Qiu Shi ancient god mansion and subsequently open it. At that time, he would truly leap into becoming the overlord of this world once he obtained the embryonic DI tier pill inside it. At that time, the so-called alliance would be just like an ant in his eyes. A flip of his hand could easily destroy it. The bodies of Lei Ying's group became a lot more tense after they saw Xiao Yang take out the ancient jade. However, no one uttered anything to stop Xiao Yang at this moment. From Xiao Yang's appearance earlier, he would likely turn against anyone who tried to stop him from rescuing his father at this moment. We will exchange the person and jade together. You should understand just how simple it is for me to kill your father. Hence, you better not allow me to see you pulling any tricks. Han Tiendi withdrew his eyes and slowly said. Xiao Yang glanced at Han Tiendi. He spread his hand and the ancient jade slowly rose under his control. Seeing this, Han Tiendi also waved his sleeve. The prison formed by the black fog scattered. With a flick of his finger, those metal chains on Xiao Zhon's body were all released. Finally, he clenched his hand. It turned into a black ray of light that grabbed onto Xiao Zhon. Here. Han Tiendi waved his large hand. Xiao Zhon was brought to Xiao Yang under the restraint of the black light. After which, a thought passed through Xiao Yang's mind and the ancient jade also shot directly towards Han Tiendi. At the same time, Xiao Yang pressed his toes on the air and shot forward. His large hand grabbed onto Xiao Zhon. A suction force erupted and he pulled the latter over. He slashed his hand downwards and the black restraint around Xiao Zhon's body was cut. Han Tiendi grabbed onto the ancient jade, just as Xiao Yang had managed to rescue Xiao Zhan. Even with his calmness, he could not help but laugh out loud as he sensed the warmth in the ancient jade. Now that the ancient jade was in his hand, he was already able to see himself stepping into the stage that he dreamed of. Father! Xiao Yang's excited body trembled involuntarily as he caught hold of Xiao Zhan. His body flashed and he quickly flew into the alliance. After which, he carefully placed Xiao Zhan down. Yang, it is really you. Escaping from the restraint and being rescued had occurred in a split second to Xiao Zhan. He had just recovered his focus when he saw the face that was in close proximity. His trembling hand touched Xiao Yang's face. That terrified manner was as though he was afraid that this was only an illusion. This was in spite of him constantly hoping for this day to come. Father, you have suffered. Sorry. Seeing that thin ice-like appeared of Xiao Zhan, even Xiao Yang could not help but feel his eyes turn red. Both of his legs heavily knelt in front of the former. Even the huge rock under him had ended up with many crack lines. It is really you. Xiao Zhan's hands touched Xiao Yang's face in a trembling fashion. He sensed the warmth and his tears rolled down uncontrollably. This scene caused all those around to feel sad. Yang, quick get up. It is all because father is useless. Xiao Zhan wiped off his tears. He hurriedly lifted Xiao Yang to his feet and looked at this face, which had become more matured than back then. His face involuntarily revealed a pleased expression. The thing that a father really wanted to see was the growth of his child. The person whom he was most worried about when he was captured back then was this youngest son. However, this child was his greatest miracle and pride. Xiao Yang inhaled a breath as he looked at the messy Xiao Zhan, who appeared much older compared to back then. He softly said, Father, big brother and second brother are all waiting for you. I will bring you to meet them once the matter here is over. Now, however, allow me to settle some matters. Protect my father. Xiao Yang turned his head and spoke to those experts from the Sky Mansion beside him. Alliance Chief, you can be rest assured that we will protect him until our deaths. Those dozens of Sky Mansion experts, who had reached the peak of the Dozun class, immediately replied respectfully after hearing this. Immediately, they moved and appeared around Xiao Zhan, providing him with a tight protection. Yang, this. Xiao Zhan was startled as he watched this scene. These people around him all possessed powerful and terrifying auras. They were considered quite strong even in the Han clan. However, he felt a great disbelief in his heart as he watched these experts in his eyes being incomparably respectful when speaking to Xiao Yang. Could it be that the young son whom he had once needed to protect had already become this powerful? Father, there is no need to worry. They will guard you. Xiao Yang withdrew the emotions within his heart. He smiled slightly towards Xiao Zhan before turning around. An extremely dark and chilly murderous intent covered his eyes. The murderous desire in his heart had reached a rich and unrestrainable extent. Hence, he must kill. Ji Yuan, Lei Ying and the others threw their gazes over when Xiao Yang had turned around. They looked at him. There was also a chill surging in their eyes. The Han clan had already managed to gather all of the Qiu Shi ancient god jade. They must definitely not be allowed to leave smoothly. Xiao Yang lowered his chin in the face of their glances. He quickly lifted his head and looked towards Han Tiendi, who was holding on to the ancient jade and laughing wildly towards the sky. A ferocious arc was formed on the corner of his mouth. Immediately, he smiled and spoke softly. Let's attack. Surging murderous intent spread over the entire place as the words sounded. This video will end here.